Hey everybody, I'm going to be doing a very different type of video for my channel today. This is a company that I don't really talk about much, but today I was able to get every single Papo prehistoric figure. So we're just going to kind of show them all off here. I just got my last figure in, which was the Pachyrhinosaurus. So we're going to go over, we're just going to briefly showcase every Papo prehistoric figure. Up until 2024, I only have one 2024 figure, and that is the Ankylosaurus, which I will show. Let me move some of this clutter around. First off, we have the original Papo standing green T-Rex. I got mine on eBay a while back. It's in pretty good condition. It's not really terrible. It's not like super good. I'm just going to kind of show them all off here. Not necessarily in order or anything. No specific order. We have the original Acrocanthosaurus. I do prefer the second color variant more so than the first. We're going to hopefully try to fit them all in here. This one's kind of worn down because I've had it for a few years. But this is the limited edition Spinosaurus. This is a big year for Spinosaurus, knowing that Rebirth is going to be featuring not one but three. This is probably one of my favorite dinosaurs. Actually, it's my favorite dinosaur, the Iguanodon. I do really like the sculpt. The color is good enough. It's not too bad. It's not like it's really out there, but it's very basic. But this is one of those situations that less is more. I do really like it. I'm not going to say anything negative about it because it's my favorite dinosaur. Another really good figure is the Apatosaurus. People say it's a young Apatosaurus, but I like to just think of it as an adult. Keep that there. Here we have the second Stegosaurus. I do prefer this one more than the original, but I do really like the original. Yeah, there's some off camera here that y'all probably can't see. Oh, there it is. Here is the Papo Brown running T-Rex. I have the 2019 re-release. I consider it the same figure. Here we have the first feathered Velociraptor. I do really like the sculpt. It's not too bad. I'm not entirely sure how scientifically accurate it is, but based on what I've seen, it looks pretty good, in my opinion. I just prefer the second one better than the original. Speaking of second, other than original, we have the Parasaurolophus. We're gonna keep that. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this garbage because. Whoops. Yeah, there's a lot of garbage in here. Just because I collect a bunch of other stuff. I do a lot of reviewing stuff in this back room here. And all this hair and shit comes from our animals. We have we have 4 cats right now and a dog. Here we have the woolly rhinoceros. A really good figure. It's pretty basic, but it's good for what it is. Papo is very well known and appreciated for their high quality of figures. Some of them aren't as great as others, but I still collect them because I like the company as a whole. Here we have a Chilosaurus, one of the only, if not the only Chilosaurus figure on the market. Alright, and here we have I have this green Velociraptor. Looks a bit like Velociraptor Charlie from Jurassic World. Here we have the Amargasaurus, and this is a figure that I see a lot of people not like as much, but personally, I think it's fine. I like the long tail, the colors are fine, the sculpt looks good. It kind of got the feet to look somewhat accurate. Kind of, but I do like it. I do think it's a little small compared to other Amargasauruses and compared to other sauropods, but it's fine. But this is one of my favorites. This is definitely one of their best figures. And that being their Mosasaurus, their actual Mosasaurus, not the Tylosaurus that's old and not that great. This is good. They even put the paint on the upper jaw here, and they gave it a forked tongue, even a dorsal fin that we think they had, and accurate tail shape, almost like a shark. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Papo figures that they've ever come out with. Here's another really good one. This is one of those cool ones. It's a Pentaceratops. I do like the standing pose, but if you don't like the standing pose, you can simply put it in this pose, which looks very similar to the Shalike one by pose, but I almost always display it like this just to kind of have a variety on my shelf. Stand him up. There we go. Here we have a Papo Rainbow Rex. Now this one is not in the best condition. This is the only one I could find. This is the running one. It's missing the front tooth here, but honestly, I never liked that front tooth to begin with. So it's honestly not necessarily a loss. I'm gonna have to empty that trash soon. Alright, here's the newest. I don't have the other 2024 figures simply because they haven't really... Whoops, there's my ugly face. Here's the new Ankylosaurus, and after getting this, I realized it's a big figure. It's almost as big, if not maybe even a bit bigger, than the Apatosaurus. I'm going to put him in the back there. This is probably the largest. The Brachiosaurus, I can barely get this whole thing in the frame. I'm going to put him right over here. Let's not show that. That's definitely... Here is another really cool one. The Papo-Therizinosaurus. I really, really, really like the colors. I like the pose. I like how it's got a pot belly. And I do like how long the claws are and the articulated jaw. Almost always makes these figures just look much... They just feel better when they have opposable jaw. Gives you more variety. And here is the Pteranodon, which looks very much like the Jurassic Park 3 one, which I almost always display right on the Therizinosaurus' arms, just like that. Here's one that I don't necessarily care too much about, but I got it because it was there and I didn't already have it. And that's the Megalodon. This is one of those that's like, you know they're going to make it eventually, but do we really, truly need another Megalodon figure? I mean, I have the Safari one. I'm fine with just having Safari, but I know Shalike's making one this year that looks really, really good in my opinion. And I do like it. I might pick it up. Speaking of Tylosaurus, here's the Tylosaurus. It looks like an old depiction of a mosasaur, and honestly, I don't really like it too much. I'm gonna put that right there. Here we have a baby T-Rex. I have both. I have every prehistoric figure. I've made sure that I had them all. I went in and looked. I should not be missing any. I have both the green and the brown. So I'm going to put him there. We have this Smilodon with the mane, which looks really cool. It just looks really smooth and just... It's not really as detailed as the other ones, but it is pretty cool. It's a cool concept. I really do like the concept of a Smilodon with the mane, but I'm fine with the original one and the baby that we have. Speaking of the Ice Age animals, we have our woolly mammoth, which we're going to put here. I also have, obviously, the baby to go with it. I'm going to put him probably like right here. We're going to find... here we have an Allosaurus. This is the second one. I do prefer the original one over this one, simply because the original one actually looks like the Jurassic World Dominion one, or the Battle at Big Rock, technically. Another really cool one that I really like is the Triceratops. This looks smack dead on from the Jurassic Park Triceratops, and I really, really appreciate how these look like Jurassic Park dinosaurs, especially their older ones. And I do like how they'll make some of them have some scientifically accurate features. Like, some of them don't have pronated hands, some of them do, like Spinosaurus doesn't. And I have the little baby to go with it. I have the newer one. This is the only one I could find. I don't like how they did the colors. I think they should have done it a little more smoothly, but oh well. It's not a huge deal, I guess. Here we have the Styracosaurus. I do prefer the first one. I like how I like the colors, but not the way they did it, in my opinion. Alright, I'm gonna have to do something about that. I'm gonna clean that off. Here we have the Carnotaurus, and I do feel like this is really small compared to some of the others. Like the Jurassic World one, it was kind of big, but not really that big. Here we have the Ankylosaurus, and I do really like it. It looks more like a Euoplocephalus because of the shape of the club and the two bigger spikes on the back here. But other than that, it's a pretty good figure. It's good for what it is, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Here we have the Tupuara, or the Tupuxara. I think that's what this is. It's either that or a Tupandactylus. Not exactly. I don't really remember. Let me know in the comments. Is this a Tupandactylus or a Tupuara? I don't remember because I got this on Facebook from a seller. And here is the other feathered velociraptor. I really like this color scheme because it looks a lot like an actual bird does. Although it's a good figure. It's definitely up there on my favorites. Here we have the Megaloceros, something that most other companies wouldn't try to make, but Papo clearly made it, which I can applaud them for that. Here we have the original Stegosaurus, which looks a lot like the Lost World one. This one's kind of worn out, old, but I was able to get it. I had to get a lot of these older ones on eBay. And put him here. Let's just go ahead and get all the bigger ones out. Like this is what people call the dinosaur figure, because you see it literally on every cheap bootleg fake company. They always use this render. It's not the worst figure, but it's very well known for what people use it for. Here's the Spinosaurus. This looks a lot like the Jurassic Park 3 one. I do think it should have a little more red, but since it's not necessarily a Jurassic Park figure, it looks a lot like it. And I do like this because it's really detailed. The colors are really good. And I don't know. I'll just stop talking. Alright, we have our Baryonyx. I'm not the biggest fan of this for two reasons. I just don't really like how big it is. It's bigger than the T-Rex. I guess they wanted to make something like Ice Age, where they had a huge Baryonyx. I mean, it should be smaller. I will get the Suchomimus, and I am really looking forward to it. I'll definitely pick up. I'll put him right here. No, I gotta put him here. I'm trying to have it to where I can fit them all in the frame. Alright, here we have the other Acrocanthosaurus. The better one. I like how it's got those stripes that start here and goes down the tail. Because a lot of more accurate depiction of dinosaur colors do show that the stripes go down the tail, which is kind of cool. Here we have the Quetzalcoatlus. Mine obviously has the jaw broke, but I can still kind of pose it if I push on it. I can keep it open, but I usually just keep it closed so I don't Oh no, I guess I don't want to break it anymore. That one's just really hard to pose. Here's another one of my favorites. It's one of the newer Papo figures that just looks really, really good. And that's their Chronosaurus. The pose itself is really hard to display because you gotta all have all the other figures around it. But the colors are very simple, yet really, really good, and it's just an overall good figure to have. Let me move that paper out of the way. Alright, here we have the Smilodon, the original, the one that, I guess this could be a female. I have the cub somewhere. Here's the juvenile Spinosaurus. This is something that I wish Mattel would make. Instead of making new random species in their line, like some of the most obscure ones ever that I've never heard of, I honestly think they should make more juvenile animals, because they have a few. I just think they should do more. And the dinosaurs that probably will never be shown in the movies as juveniles. I mean, they've made T-Rex, they've made Stegosaurus, they just made Triceratops. We have some Velociraptors, but there's really not too many. Here's the Velociraptor, the newer one that looks. They're kind of trying to go for Velociraptor Blue from Jurassic World, but it's one of those that I'm like, I don't really care for it as much as some of the other ones, like some of the other ones I'm about to show here. I do have the original Velociraptor, which is really, really good. And if you can get one, I would strongly urge you to do so, because it is a really good figure. Here's the Oviraptor. I like the sculpt, it's very basic, but I just don't really like how it's holding the egg. It just kind of takes away. I just like dinosaurs as they are. And really, they wouldn't steal eggs. That's the only other thing, is they don't steal the eggs. It's a very widely known misconception. Here's the Pachycephalosaurus. This does look really nice. It's small, but the pose is fair. It's one of those meh figures that it's not really good, but it's not the worst. I have a lot of figures over here that are off screen. Speaking of that original Velociraptor, here it is. Mine's definitely worn out, but I got it for $30, so I kind of really, really wanted it. This looks very much like the Jurassic Park Velociraptor, and I really, really like this for what it is. Let me put that in here. Here's the Smilodon cub. It's weird. This one has the slit pupils, while the adult has the round eyes. Here's a very obscure dinosaur. That's the Polacanthus. I do really like the purplish gray hue that it has, and I honestly would like to see more purple dinosaurs. It's just, I want them to do it right. I want them to do them right. Like, make them look natural, not necessarily. I don't like my dinosaur figures to have really bright, obscure colors. Like some of these, like especially the Protoceratops. Speaking of the Protoceratops, this is arguably the worst looking Papo figure ever. The sculpt's not really terrible. It's just bright green. I don't like it. It just looks really bad. You can hear my aunt yelling at the dog. I'm going to put him in the back so no one can see you. Here is the original Allosaurus. Now, mine, unfortunately, will not stand on its own, but I have materials I can use to hold him up. Oh, you can't even see him. This looks a lot like the Jurassic World one, with the lighter brownish yellow with the dark blue on top. And even the sculpt itself looks very, very much like the original Jurassic World one. That's too close to the other one. I'm gonna have to. There, that's good enough. Because when I get this out, I'm gonna take a big picture of all of them. Here's a really, really cool one, and that's the Capriosuchus. I kind of really want Papo to make a big croc, preferably Dinosuchus. because there's really not a whole lot of Dinosuchus figures on the market. I mean, there's the old Safari Limited one. I think there's a Reborn one. I think. I would love Mattel to make one, but I know they're making a Perusaurus for this year's for the Rebirth line, which is really cool. Here's another really controversial figure, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. The Giganotosaurus. Oops. I like the design. The only thing that I really do not like about it is the pose. I do not like the pose. There we go. Here's another really, really good one that a lot of people don't talk about that too much, or at least not anymore, and that's the Dimetrodon. I really like the colors. I like the sculpt. The sculpt's pretty good. They didn't sculpt that. I'm not really good with dinosaur anatomy. The hole that makes it a diapsid, they actually make it look like it's a synapsid, which I can applaud. The deserty colors work. I just really, really like this figure. It's really good. Just carefully put that down. Here we have let me get the brown Rex. Here's the Papo Brown T-Rex, the one that looks like the Jurassic Park / World T-Rex. I prefer this one more than the other one. I'm going to try to make some room here. And here we have the baby to go with it. I don't like how their mouths can barely open up, but it's not a huge deal. These babies are so hard to find, but thankfully when I bought these, I got them both for $100. They came together, and I immediately purchased it before anyone else could. So sorry if you tried. I kind of needed them more. Here's another really, really cool one. It's the Dilophosaurus. The colors are fine. The colors are just basic, but they're not bad. But the pose, it's not really the greatest. Kind of want more naturalistic looking poses, but it's not a huge deal. Here's another really criminally underrated figure, and that's the Compsognathus. If you want a decent Jurassic Park / World style Compsognathus, then the Papo one's good. The colors are spot on. The sculpt, spot on. This is literally taken off the screen and into your hand, or on your shelf, depending on where you want to put it. Oops, there's my ugly face again. Mattel has compies, but they're really, really little, and they're not bad, they're just bland. They're just not the greatest. But they work, because they're a scale. Here we have the Plesiosaurus. It's one of those, meh, it's cool, but not really my favorite. I don't really care too much for it, but I'll get it just to complete the collection. Hold on. Alright, we're pretty much almost done here. Here we have our Dimorphodon, and this is a really, really rare figure. I didn't even notice these little things on the side. Are these little flaps here normal? Because they certainly don't look normal. I got this off of Dan's Dinosaurs, but his eBay page, and I got this for $100. And I'm very grateful that I got this. And it's a cute little figure. The colors are pretty good. The sculpt looks a lot like the Jurassic World one, and I like that. See, I'm fine with the Jurassic World designs. They're cool for what they are. They're not meant to be super, super accurate. But here's another really cool one that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's the Ceratosaurus. I like the green. A green Ceratosaurus is definitely interesting because when people, especially dinosaur fans that know Ceratosaurus, typically see it with a red head, like the Jurassic Park 3 one. But I'm fine with the different colored one. Even though all the other Jurassic Park styled ones don't look a lot like the ones from the show. Or the movie. Not show. Here's the green Parasaurolophus. This looks a lot, I believe looks like a Jurassic Park 3 styled one. Not really, I could be wrong, but it's one of those meh figures. I do prefer the other one more. Where am I going to put this? There, I'm going to put them right down the very end. Here's the Styracosaurus, the original one. the pose is fine. It looks mean, which they're not necessarily the nicest animals, so it's fine. It's a good figure. I like the colors. The colors are simple. The colors look fine. They didn't. And this is the one I just got today. I was waiting for this to do a video. This got lost by the Postal Service twice. It came from Seattle area. It went all the way to Florida, went to Indianapolis, and then it went back to Florida because of weather. My thing is, why couldn't they keep it in Indianapolis? And then it got closer. It went back to Indianapolis, and then it got closer, and then I got it today. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but I like it more than now that I have it in hand. I just wish it was fatter. I'm used to seeing Pachyrhinosaurus really fat. Let me move these cords. Alright, we have the other Oviraptor. I do like the original one better, but again, the whole egg thing just kind of ruins it for me, but oh well. Here we have the Neanderthal man. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this or not, but since it's a prehistoric figure, I figured, why not? I'm going to put him... Nope, that's not a good spot. That's a good spot. Here we have a very controversial figure, and that's the Concavinator. I like this figure. I like how detailed it is. It doesn't look bland or boring. I like the feathers. I like how they gave it the quills on its arms, which we know for a fact they had. I like these thick osteoderms on the back and going down the tail and the tail there. I do really like it. I just think I think it's around the head that really ruins it for me. But it's not terrible, I guess. I do really like it. Let me put him in there like that. Here we have an Archaeopteryx. It's another one of those figures that it's cool, but it's, it's fine. It's nothing too exciting for me. Here's the Ionosaurus. Pose is good. I do feel like the horn's really small, but I think it would have been bigger. But overall, other than that, it's fine. Where am I going to put this? I'm literally running out of places. Put you on the very end now. I'm going to put you there. Here's the last big one, and that's the other rainbow T-Rex. This one was also really, really hard for me to track down. But I was finally able to get it. Move my garbage can out because I should probably take it cleaned out. It's been a while. I don't really come back here a whole lot because it's really cold. Here's another really good figure with a weird pose, and that's the Cryolophosaurus. I do like the colors. The sculpt's good. Other than that, it's another one of those situations like the Giganotosaurus where it could have been good, but just a really, really bad pose. And really, a lot of times, that can ruin an entire figure. I'm going to put him on the very end there. Here we have what I call the Rainbow Raptor. Mine's kind of busted up, like its jaw won't open and close right away. You got to like pull it out like that just to open it. Other than that, it's not too bad. It's just another Raptor repaint, but it's not the best. I like the first one the best. Here we have a cave bear. It's cool. I don't think anyone else makes cave bears, but it's definitely really detailed. It looks fine. It's one of those like the Archaeopteryx. Here we have this Digimoloch. I was really excited when they announced this a while back, and once I got it, I was like, this doesn't really look right, but it's kind of cool, I guess. Here we have the last figure, but certainly not least, the Gorgosaurus. I like this Gorgosaurus. I like the colors. The sculpt is good. The pose is fine. It's kind of crouched down a little bit. I've had this for a while, and this looks really, really good. And there's not a whole lot of Gorgosaurus models on the market, so I'd honestly pick this up if you don't already have it. Hold on, let me get this cord out of the way so I can... Come on. Don't fall down. There we go. Alright, sorry about the dirty room.